Well, welcome to another episode of Money and Mindset at 40 Plus, where through our stories, we help you conquer your money fears, conquer your money stories to play big and have and live an abundant life. I am Sylvia.
And I am Jenny.
And we're so happy that you're here today. We have a great episode in line for you today. Well, we think it's great, and it's
No,
about
we don't think it's great. We
we
know
know.
it's
Yes,
great.
you caught me there. All about the power of our words, words and thoughts, because they're related, and that's what we're talking about today. We're going to take you through some internal dialogues, and then we're going to be talking about the external words that we use and hear around us, the feelings that come up with these words, how they limit us.
But first, a story.
A story.
That's what we do. So we were getting ready for this show, and Sylvia and I were talking about a guest that we'd like to bring on who's not available at 12 noon on Thursday. And so I said, well, we'll just record it and plunk it up on Thursday at 12 noon when we're normally live. And Sylvia said, no, we have to keep up our weekly lives because people expect us to be live and have a video, and the guest one would be an extra one. To which I replied, oh, so you're making more work for me, with a smile.
And so you did smile, and we left it there. And then you said, okay, we'll still keep going live. We'll still keep going live. And I came back this week and I said, do you know, did you remember saying this? That, what's that all about? Because, what about the work that it's going to cause for you?
Right. So it prompted this really interesting discussion. So Sylvia, what was your inner ticker tape that went on when you heard me say, oh, you're making more work for me?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because the internal dialogue set in, and I was thinking, I went back and I was like, oh, is she not enjoying this? It's work for her. It's fun for me and it's joy for me, but she says it's joyful, but if it's work for her, she's going to leave the show. Jenny might not want to do this. Will I do the show without her? What's the show going to be like? I'm going to have to change the name. Oh my God. And this whole inner dialogue came up. Yeah. And then it was like, Jenny, do you know that with that one little sentence that this is more work for you, what that brought up in me? It was a great prompt for the show.
It was a great prompt. And then from my side, what was funny was I had to stop and say, why is everything in my life about making more work? It was actually more of a global thing. Like, is this the way I approach everything in my life, Sylvia? And I really I'm still thinking about it right now, about what do I put in the work category and how would I shift that? Because no, this show is very joyful for me. But if that's my automatic lens, how do I want to shift that with my words and my speaking? So,
oh yeah, very powerful. So today we're going to take you on this journey about words, and we're going to get you to start thinking. Let's just jump right in. I mean, welcome everybody. If you can hear us really well, put a yes in the comments. That helps everyone else see that the show is on, and helps that algorithm. Like the episode. If you're not subscribed. Please subscribe to the show, send it to your friends. These discussions, we're getting great feedback. Thank you for the comments that you're sending. People are sending in comments, they're sending in show suggestions, and we're having a lot of fun with this. And we hope again, we hope it's automatic, Jenny, these words. And we're going to leave you with a list at the end of words that we've come up with. And we want you to add to them, like limiting words. That become limiting beliefs. But let's talk about that inner dialogue that I went through, because that's something that my clients, a lot of, and I won't just limit it to women, because I think men have this as well. But I worked with a woman once, and we were delving into her inner critic, and she said she was so critical of herself. So we decided, let's do this exercise where you walk around with a little pad all day long and write down what your little voice inside was, what came up. It started as soon as she got out of bed. It was, oh my God, I look like crap this morning. And when she looked in the mirror, and oh my God, I've got a big day in front of me. And she went downstairs, and there's nothing to eat, and I'm just going to have this donut here. And I shouldn't really be eating donuts because that's going to gain 5 pounds, and I'm already fat enough as it could be. oh, I have no time to exercise. And we went through the entire day. There were pages
Oh
and
my
pages
God.
and pages.
Gosh.
And I know she's not the only one.
Yeah.
And I remember having,
Yeah.
periods of my life where I was like that, and that inner critic. Does that resonate with anybody? Am I the only one? I don't think so, Jenny.
Well, and on the internal side, what I'm just realizing is, our identities are so much who we are. And many of us identify with the little train that could, like that sort of, despite all of this negative self-talk, I still prevail, right? But how exhausting is that, Sylvia? How tiring is that to be fighting your own inner dialogue for very simple things like, figuring out what clothes to put on in the morning or how to present something to a boss or etc.
Well, definitely. Yeah. Stacy says, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, Stacy. So nice to see you every week. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I still catch myself. I think what happens now, I just have an automatic, I've have an automatic reaction for when I am thinking these types of thoughts, this inner dialogue that is not positive. Stop it, and put my attention elsewhere. Right. That is another, it's just a way of changing the focus.
So you just notice it? Is that you just go, oh, isn't that interesting?
Well, the more you notice that you're doing this, the more you're saying that's not self-serving. That doesn't serve me well at all, those thoughts. Right. And then you have to shift your focus. You can't stay in that, because when we're starting to wallow and feeling sorry, then there's the self-pity party. And then it's really easy to get down that hole and stay there. And that is not a place of power for me.
Yeah. And actually, I'm reading this wonderful book called Successful Aging, and we can have another show about that, but it talks about how your brain and the neurons, and respecting the fact that it is actually a spiral. It's a chemical spiral. It's a neurological spiral that starts happening, Sylvia. And so I love the way you sort of bat it away. Oh, there it is. Bat it away.
There it is. No judgment. Okay. I'm not going to feel bad about saying that. I just had that thought. I let it go away. Right. And that's the whole mindfulness. If we're meditating, if you've ever done meditation, you say, okay, there's a thought, let it go past. And I think that's the same thing. And I'm much less negative talk now over the years than, but that I prompt everybody, do that exercise and write down your thoughts for a whole day and see where you might not have them all day long. It might be only in a certain part. Like, what were you doing when those negative thoughts came up? They have an impact on who we are, right? Because, you were saying our words are our truth. And I think that is a big one. So what are the words that we're using? And then it goes into our external words, like what we're saying out loud.
Yeah. So for me, the external part is I use the phrase, your words are your truth, a lot when I coach fundraisers, because how you perceive your organization or your potential success is how others will perceive it. If you don't truly believe in your heart of hearts that you are worthy of receiving $1 million gift, you will never have the opportunity for that gift to be presented to you.
That's the same thing with a client. If you don't think you're going to be able to charge $10,000 or make $20,000 a month, you won't. Yeah. Because those are your thoughts. Your words are your truth. They are your stories. They're your beliefs.
And they're built in your neurons of your brain, and they're hardwired with the chemicals that we have in our brain. So how does that shift start happening? Often in my roles or in a corporate setting, people are looking to leaders for possibilities. People are looking for leaders to show a future state. So making mindful of the kind of language you use. I think of some of my folks that are busy positioning themselves with deans or positioning themselves with boards of directors or whoever your boss is. It doesn't matter, person of authority. Speaking in potential, I'll never forget the day that my technical guy on my capital campaign switched from, if we can raise the money, we could do this, to when we raise the money. Like those little things,
so
they start to chew away at us. And when he said when, what was really funny was he turned to me and he smiled because he knew I had been prompting and priming this discussion for so long, right? And it's not like you flip and it happens, but I think we gravitate as humans to those positions and those people who can externally project their words or their truth in alignment. Not to go into the vice presidential debates from last night, but I thought Kamala Harris did a really great job of, she managed to own her space and her language in a really beautiful way, regardless of what was going on over there. And I think that's all of our aims in life, is to be able to own our space and own our words and how we show up, and to accept the fact that people are judging us based on the words we use. So why not choose our words carefully? So
yeah, and I thought she showed up. I mean, we won't go into politics here, but I thought she spoke the best out of all four of them. And you listened. You know, I think that's a way of capturing people's attention. Stacy says, inner thoughts are so interesting. I feel like awareness is the first shift. I agree, Stacy. It is when I started hearing the if and the when, or I hope, rather than, you know, or we will do this. It builds that confidence, and we catch ourselves. And that's the first time, you know, that's when we can stop doing it. Yes. I remember I used to work, I did not always run a business. I've had employers, and I have had my fair share of employers who just spewed venom, literal venom, Jenny, every single day. And it's hard, you know, when people are, it creates a horrible climate. And we've all had those bosses, right? Because I think a lot of people are unhappy at work because of the people. It's not the jobs they're doing necessarily. It's about the people. And there's always, it just takes one, you know, it always just takes that one person on the team to ruin the whole conversation. And I, now where I am in life, I say, okay, that's what they're saying. I don't take it personally, because that is them. They are unhappy. What is the ticker tape going on in their mind all day long? You know, there's maybe a self-worth issue going on. So they feel that they have to be rough and mean, and I'm like, I've come up across that a lot. So
the takeaway for me on that, Sylvia, is, you know, the inner ticker tape switches from why is that person so frustrating to what is that person feeling, or how is that person feeling? And there's an objectivity to that I really like. You know, something that I still try and work really hard. We have a couple of wonderful quotes that I wanted to share. You know, nothing is ever broken. It just is. That's like a really kind of like, whoa, big sentence. It's not, it just is. And so it's our opportunity to take it and leverage it and position it the way we want it. Jim Fortin, your guy, says, you speak your life into existence. And
you speak your life into existence, and you think your life into existence. What your life is a reflection of your thoughts and your habits. And that's a big one. That's life changing if we really sit with it.
So I want to pick up on that. This is a coaching kind of a situation. So Sylvia, you picked up on our planning for this course this episode about how it's hard to find time to envision your life, how it's hard to put up those walls. Tell me, in a future world, tell me how you'd like to set up space so that you can breathe life into that vision for your business.
Well, yes, if I'm going to be the visionary person that I want to be, I do, you know, how does a visionary person act? In my mind, they set the time aside to do that, right? So it is planning it out. It is being that person. I might not be that person just yet, but one step at a time. And not saying, you know, language, everything is stories. All the thoughts we have, they are just stories. And that's what you were just saying, you know, it just is. And we create these stories.
We do.
You might think something about a topic, and I might think another thing. It's perception. We have filters. Every one of you here has filters. So where do we start to unravel that? And I was like, you know, I am a visionary. I am a successful business person. Not I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
Or, you know, when I have this, I will be. I am a person who exercises every single day, except on Sunday. I am a person who eats meat or doesn't eat meat, whatever you know, those are just embodying that. And it's the feeling that brings, that feels confident saying those things. You know, I mean, it might be a little bit of fake it till you make it sometimes, Jenny, and not everyone's in agreement with that. But I think we have to start using those very strong and powerful words.
When you say that, and those of you on the call, listen, as you're watching Sylvia say them, do you see how powerful and how aligned she looks, and so calm, by the way? That's just absolutely beautiful. And I'm gonna do an accountability. Sometimes on our coaching calls, we do this. I have something that got canceled this afternoon, and I was just saying to Sylvia, I have the whole afternoon off, and I am going to take a look at my business numbers, because that's something I've been avoiding, creating the space for the future state of my business, because my words matter, and how I speak about the future state of my business matters.
Let's dive into what are some of the words that, I was talking about the example, and I apologize if I've ever done this to anybody who's listening, but when you receive an invitation to a party and you say, yeah, I'll try and make it. Does that person ever show up? They never do. They never do. What are some other ones that you catch yourself using?
I'll just do this one thing before I go home. I'll just da 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 da.
I am just a business owner. I am just a mom at home. I'm just a mom. I'm just, it's become a negative word, I think. I catch my clients using that one all the time.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get the strategic plan approved by next week.
Maybe. You probably won't.
Well, not if I say maybe.
Not if you say maybe, right? What are some others? You all have some that are coming up in your mind? Put them in the comments. I want to share. There's a list. I should eat better, Jenny. I should meal plan, Jenny. I should. Am I doing it? No. Should I be doing it? Yeah, I probably should be doing it, but why am I not doing it? So when that language comes up, we want to dig deeper. Well, why am I not meal planning? Why am I not?
You can't run marathons on potato chips, Sylvia. We know that up here.
Yeah. The left brain. Yeah. The left brain, analytical brain knows that.
So your beliefs drive your actions, which result in your outcomes.
Say that again.
Your beliefs, core beliefs, about who you are, what you are, how you live this world, drive your actions on this planet.
Yes.
Which result in the outcomes that happen to you, right?
It all starts up here.
It all starts up here. Yeah. I am. Stacey has a comment here about her massage therapist. I love it. So there are words that are coming up, Yeah.
Yes.
Athletic. I am athletic is what Stacey's talking about. Love it.
I'm an athlete. Yeah, they're very powerful. And it becomes who you are. It becomes your identity. Right? If you, one of my, and they're all stories, remember, it comes back to your stories. One of my stories, and here it's a money show. I used to, my money story, or one of my, from a long time ago, is I'm not good with money.
Yeah.
I'm not good with money. That was my story. I'm not good with money. Well, guess what? My bank account and my business was showing that to me. Yeah, I was telling the universe listened and gave me all these things to not be good with money. So my story now is I am good with money. If I don't know something, I will go and learn it. I'm smart.
Yeah, I am open to, for me, it would be, I am open to learning more about money. So on that accountability piece, something I wanted to do was, we're getting to the year end. I've got tax planning to do and some things. I was saying to my husband, hey, let's book a meeting with our accountant for the end of October. And in the past, I would have ignored it or let him do it. I don't know what I would have done, but let's book a meeting to find out more. There's language there. There's words of intention there that I think is very empowering. And I'm sure he would jump at it. I mean, he's perfectly happy for me to take on more responsibility there, but I'm not hiding from it. I'm using my words and my intentions to drive my behaviors.
There is something about women, in that passive aggressive way I'm just thinking about spousal relationships now, about asking your spouse or telling your spouse, we never tell them exactly what we want.
Right.
And then that it doesn't relate to happiness. It doesn't, become, we're not happy. Like many people I know and friends, we've had this discussion. I was like, well, why don't you just tell him that that's what you wanted for your birthday? Like, how can he read minds? And it's like, well, he knows me long enough. I'm like, no. So I'm like, for my birthday, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go out. And unless I'm, want a surprise or whatnot, but the language, again, so clear in all aspects with your children as well.
Yeah.
right?
So we had this term kill list. These are the kill list of words. So we're taking off the list. We're taking off just. We're taking off should. We're taking off maybe. Another one for me. I'm going to open this one up. You ask someone a question, whether it's fundraising or it's in your coaching, and they say, "I don't know."
I don't know. Oh my gosh, how many times have we said that?
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to call you on that BS because you do know.
You do.
Don't like that is we're just hiding. That was what you called it, Jenny, before was a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what if I were to ask you, okay, what's the next step in your business? What's the next step to I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. You just don't want to think about it. You might not
Right.
you do know what it is. You just don't want to deal with it. You don't want to talk about it. I know I've been there. I've done that with my coaches. I don't know. And one of my coaches now says, don't be so lazy. He calls that laziness.
Wow.
That's laziness. You're being lazy.
Yeah.
You don't want to change. We do know.
Or when it happens, it's like, so what would you need to do to know? Is 5 minutes of sitting. So I don't like space and I don't like silence. We know that about Jenny. So part of the I don't know is I'd actually have to sit still, Sylvia, and think about it. And it's probably going to be messy. Like I'm going to have to blah, 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 and finally get to the place. But you're right. We all know this goes back to core purpose, why we're on this planet and what contributions we make and what's at the base of our tummies, what's most important to us.
If you missed our core purpose episode, that was last week. Go back and listen to that one again. And I don't necessarily take that tone. Like I won't call you lazy. If you want to work with me, don't feel bad. I won't call you lazy. But I will say, well, if you were a person that did that knew, that state of being. Remember, if I am working from, I am already a visionary. Well, what would a visionary do, Jenny?
Yeah.
They would take those 5 minutes to decide, and they would know. A visionary would know, right?
Words define a culture too, right? So how we talk about it is really important. And I know we're getting close on time. This always happens. But I want to drop one more thing out there. Using fear to get what you want, hiding behind words to get what you want, eventually burns you out. That's where your adrenal glands start to just keep secreting. You cannot live on fear all the time, right? Chasing the next, when you're chasing praise or you're chasing whatever it is that makes you feel good, right? Or running away from, right? And so all those words, if the words don't come from inside you, that's where you have that sense of confiance, that sense of soi. I'm throwing in French words because I'm looking at Sylvia. But that alignment piece, rather than chasing and burning out on those adrenal glands. So let's get our language aligned with what we want to do and
who we want to be. Right. We need to be first. I really, truly believe that. Who do we want to be? And what's the language that they use internally as well? If I want to be making $1 million, well, how do I have to think? Would a millionaire think, and I'm just throwing out $1 million. Totally. It could be whatever it is, right? But would they think these thoughts all day long? They might have other issues. I mean, they all do, we never.
And where would I have to stretch? Where would be my opportunity zone? So again, language, problem solving versus solution strategies, totally different. We have a problem that needs to be fixed versus what solutions and opportunities do we have to address an up level. We talk a lot about up leveling our language. I think that's our takeaway, Sylvia.
That is our takeaway. So we did an exercise about writing out your thoughts throughout the day and seeing where you need the attention, because they might not be negative all day long, but where is there improvement to make?
Yeah, totally.
What language we're saying to other people? Well, what words are we using? Are they empowering? Or are they disempowering? In our family lives, what languages are we using with our spouses, our parents? Is it a control language that we're using? Where is the friction?
So your words are your truth. That's the tattoo for episode 17. What are we at? 17?
We're at episode 17. We're at episode 17. And there's a quote, and I couldn't find it before, but I know I wrote it down somewhere. Your words are the drippings of your mind. And I thought that was amazing. I have to go find out who knows. If you know that, let me know. I'll go and look it up though. But
so thanks so much for listening. Next week we have Megan O'Neill, who is going to be talking about women and their limiting beliefs. She is a core belief specialist. She's going to talk to us about a deep dive into your mind.
She's one of my first coaches in money, and I'm going to be sharing the experience I had because it was amazing experience, and really got me out of a funk many years ago. So I'll be sharing my story with Maya about how she helped, and yes, that was a great chat. Thank you for all your comments, everybody.
Yeah, appreciate
Love having you. Love sharing.
Happy Thanksgiving if you're in Canada, and if you're in the States, I'll save that one for next month. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share widely with your most special peeps. Please do that for us.
Thank you. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.
Bye.